Hi, my name is Andre Berry. I'm starting the first of many videos that could be done to be beneficial to others. I want to tell a story that will help others. I want to talk about different topics that will help others. I want to talk about different things that will help others. I know I said I was going to do a full story tonight about um, my story, but it's going to be done in multiple parts. The first part, um, I'm going to talk about the first of the main part of my story. The second part will flash back, and the third part will come up till today. Um, the first part of my story that I said I want to talk about, um, I got at 10 years old. I was on a class trip in Alabama. I was at my fifth grade class trip. We were graded for the end of the school year. It was April of 1987. Um, I didn't expect for my life to change like it would at that time. Um, I'm on the trip. Um, all of a sudden, my legs started to give way, and which is unusual. My mom was a chaperone on the trip. She thought I was kidding around because before that I was pretty much of a kid. I like to joke around. I like to have fun. I always got my work done in school and everything, but I still was a joker in the process. But she saw me fall down, but this time I didn't get up. And my legs had given way. I had collapsed. I had gone. Um, my legs had gone out from under me. I got up. I was really, really weak. I had to be brought back to Atlanta. Um, I didn't know what I was dealing with, but I had to go to the hospital. We went to the hospital. That was my first time ever being inside of a hospital as a patient. Um, I didn't have know I was going to be spending the bulk of my life inside and out, in and out the hospital. But that was the first of many times to come. But anyway, I was in there, and all of a sudden my legs gave way. I was in a lot of pain as um, I they took a lot of tests, X-rays, CAT scans, MRIs, which to this day I hate because I'm claustrophobic. Um, they saw that I had scoliosis. Um, I don't know why I was not determined doing when they used to do the scoliosis test in school, but it wasn't picked up on. Um, I was admitted to the hospital. I was there for 3 weeks. Um, I was in a lot of pain. I had to have different surgical procedures. Um, Not the main ones that will come later, but I had to have some things where they tried to stop bleeding and different things. Um, but I was in the hospital, and all of a sudden, I started to have chest pains. So um, I was put in ICU. Um, that part is hard to talk about because chest pains are not. To me, the chest pains at that time were more severe than the back pain I was dealing with. Um, I am so all of a sudden the doctors, after doing a series of tests, they said everything on that was okay, but they were still worried about the scoliosis. So they sent me home on steroids. Steroids to help keep the leg strong. But they saw that the effect they were having when they sent me home. And
Yes.
excuse me, my mom was watching a movie. She wanted to ask me something, but um, they sent me home on steroids. I take it, and all of a sudden after a week, they they put me back in. They put me back in, and do the surgery that will cause me to stop walking. Let me tell you what happened in that surgery. In that surgery, um, they opened me up. I nearly bleed out on the operating table. Um, I nearly bleed out on the operating table. And I nearly bleed out on the operating table. And they let me turn this down because I tend to not concentrate. But this is more important than what is going on in the background. Um, I nearly bleed out on the operating table, and they all of a sudden have a flat line. Um, I didn't even know that part until I became an adult. Um, so I basically said I was an adult when I was 10 years old because I had to endure some things that a 10-year-old should never have to go through health-wise. I was enduring other things long before then, which that will come in part two when I flash back. But I flatline. They bring me back. They had put a rod in my back to try to correct the scoliosis, but the problem was that the doctor that put it in, was not even a pediatrician. He was an adult neurosurgeon. He was an adult neurosurgeon. Now, why would an adult neurosurgeon be operating on a pediatrician? Um, so they put the rod in. Little did I know, okay, I thought that I was going to come out. Okay, maybe I thought I was going to come out the better, but I did not know that I was going to stop walking altogether, which I did. Um, I have a lot of anger issues after that. Because even though the doctors told my mom that the surgery should never have been done, they still, when it came out time to speak out about it, they covered their own tracks. Um, I'm in, I'm in, I missed my entire sixth grade school year. So I wound up repeating the sixth grade because I missed 178 of the 180 days of the required school year. So I had to repeat sixth grade. My mom thought it was best because she was a teacher and she thought the skills that I needed were very important. So at first I was bitter about it because I still wanted to wind up being in the class with my classmates. But I figured I was for the best. But let's go back to it when I was in the hospital. When I'm in this wheelchair, um, I figured that I did not want to live anymore because my life had changed. Um, I didn't I didn't know what, how to live. in a wheelchair. I leave the hospital after a combined 47 days. Um, 14 which were in ICU, 11 which were on a ventilator. Um, I talk about when I get out of the hospital, I mentioned to my mom that I don't want to live at all. Um, but um, but I talk about suicide, but I never go through with it. I never go through with it. Sometimes, I flash back to, what if I was, flashback, what if this, what if that. Um, but, I realized to this day that God had put me in this wheelchair for a specific reason, and which is to have an impact on others. Some people say, well, how can I believe in a God that would have put me in this situation? At first, I think about it, but yeah, he put me in this position, but I'm still here. The doctor told me that I had 6 months to live. Um, he told me, but I was not in. He told my mom that I had 6 months to live, but I was not informed of that right away, because they said if I was informed of that, I would have not fought on trying to live, if you will. So I'm out of the hospital in 1987. Going in, walking, coming out in a wheelchair. Um, I would have come out walking if it would have been a pediatrician that would have done the surgery. Um, we're going to pick up the story now as we're in late 1987. Um, my family doesn't know how to, a lot of families, it's hard to adjust what it is to someone who's in a wheelchair. And I had to go to counseling from 1987 through 1988 to, I think it was like spring of 88. Um, the doctor um, get me on track, and I'm adjusting. So I had to repeat the 6th grade, but I did repeat it. And I met a lot of new and good friends along the way. Um, I'm dealing with, you know, I think me repeating the 6th grade was, without a doubt, something I'm glad happened, because those kids saw me as a person and not as their cause. See, when somebody's dealing with a physical challenge, you don't want to be, and I hate the word handicap. That's one of the words I hate for everything in the world. Um, they see me as a person, and I'm glad that they did. Um, Now here we are in 1989. I didn't miss any of my 6th grade year, but in November 1989, another piece um, of my I lost